What's up, everybody? Welcome back to more Twin Wrestle Pod. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Now, listen, let's get on to Monday Night Raw, shall we? This show was awful. Okay, I don't care if we had a good match from Sheamus and Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. They could not have saved this show. And I start with this. Tell me you're short on time for building a War Games match without telling me you're short on time for building a War Games match. That's exactly what Triple H did in the first segment of the show. Granted, the show was taped, and we knew we was heading to this direction for a long time. Like I even stated it a couple weeks ago when I did the review on the preview for NXT about the 2300 arena. I actually proposed the women of the NXT rosters to be in the War Games match. Just let the women adopt the War Games match for this year because they have a better story. But no, we go into Monday Night Raw this past Monday, and Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez kicked off the show. And they just shot from the gun and just said they wasn't long, and that came out. That brought out the women's champion Nia Jax, Miss Money in the Bank Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. And that's your 5 for Team Liv Morgan at War Games. They proceeded to call out Bianca and Jade, so they brought out Bianca and Jade with Naomi. And then they brought out Io Sky. And then they proceeded to do the whole count the math thing. 4 is greater than 5, and then Liv Morgan said, "You guys obviously can't count. You have no fifth member, and who's gonna throw the first punch?" And then that brought out Rhea Ripley, and not even her, not even a return of Rhea Bloody Ripley can save this show. This show has had way more negatives than positives to me. It just wasn't that entertaining of a show. He had decent matches, but you could skip this show. This show wasn't really all that at all. I was not a fucking fan of this first segment to kick off the show at all. With the woman to announce the War Games match, I felt it was lazy. Felt it lacked energy. All type of stuff. And it's just, like I say, tell me you short on time for War Games without telling me you short on time for War Games. And that's what Triple H did during this segment. Garbage segment. Did not like this segment at all. So now we definitely have a women's War Games match. Team Rhea, which team consists of Bianca and Jade, Naomi, Io, and Rhea Ripley taking on the team of Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Didn't care for this segment. You can gloss over that segment. You can probably pretty much gloss over this whole entire show. A decent match, Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega taking on Ivy Nile and Chad Gable. Honestly, it was a good match, but I would rather see Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable. I like the gear that Chad Gable had on. It was pretty cool. I like the red, the American flag stuff in there. Very little Kurt Angle-ish vibes in there as well. Granted, Rey Mysterio fought Kurt Angle 22 years ago at SummerSlam. That's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy when you look back on time. But I'd rather see Chad Gable and Rey Mysterio. Braun Breaker and Sheamus had a great match, but was marred by Ludwig Kaiser coming out there and attacking Braun Breaker as he was going for the spear on the outside. And what made Ludwig Kaiser do this, you may ask? Gunther told him in a segment prior to this match to go make a name for himself, make the people remember him, and make the people get used to him. Gunther told him he don't want him to be talking for him anymore. And go be your own, man. And this is what he proceeded to do, to attack Braun Breaker and Sheamus. Now, this is a recurrent issue from back when Ricochet was still on the roster. Before Ludwig Kaiser got hurt and he had to take time off. He was mixing it up with Sheamus and Braun Breaker. Now, we've seen him in the ring more with Sheamus recently, right? Since he returned, but we haven't seen him interact with Braun Breaker since then, outside of Braun Breaker's face-to-face with Gunther like 2 or 3 or maybe 4 weeks ago. But that was a pretty cool segment, and we'll see where it goes from here. see how Luke would establish himself. He's been doing pretty good for himself since they broke Giovanni Vinci from Imperium. So pretty cool segment. Didn't really care for the Judgment Day taking on the War Raiders. Didn't care for that. Carlito and Dom. We knew Carlito would want to eat the pin anyway, so didn't really care for that. Finn Balor and JD ambushed the War Raiders after the fact, beat them up, but can't take them serious. I seen on WWE's Twitter or somewhere on Twitter that Judgment Day has recently hit a milestone of 150 days as the WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, or WWE, whatever they call them, the championships for Raw. But they only had one fucking title defense in 150 days since beating R-Truth and The Miz. How long ago was that when they beat R-Truth and Miz? How long ago was that? After SummerSlam? Bro, we are in November, bro. SummerSlam was 3 months ago, bro. At the beginning of fucking August, at that. That's what makes it even worse. Need to get those championships off of them, man. They do not need to hold them. Maybe they're starting to show some chinks in the armor, some cracks in the armor with Finn and Dominic going at it, and Dominic thinking he got everything all figured out. And Finn just planting the seeds and making Dom hang himself with his own rope type of deal. Maybe that'll play out pretty soon, but we need to get these championships off of Finn Balor and JD. Because they're not defending them, bro. Like, one defense in 150 days. Logan Paul had more defenses than them. It's ridiculous. But didn't really care for this fucking segment. Next. That same segment where Gunther told Ludwig could be his old man. Gunther tried to attack Damian Priest, but yeah. But Damian Priest got the upper hand on him, as you can see in this photo here. I can't like zoom in on it, but Damian Priest ended up laying out Gunther, so there was that. We ended up finding out that The Miz was always in cahoots with the Final Testament just to lure out the Wyatt Sits and get the ambush, get the jump on them. But we know it's going to come back to haunt them because the Wyatt Sits is not going to lose no time soon. Some with the Pure Fusion Collective, who cares? Nobody. Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. Bronson Reed is able to pick up the win over Seth Rollins via help from Solo Sikoa and the rest of the bloodline as we head into War Games, and they're further developing the story of whether Seth Rollins will join Team Reigns at the Survivor Series and War Games. There's one or two options they can go here. You have the connection with both Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns that runs deep, very deep, back to almost 12 years ago now at this point. And 10 years ago, Seth Rollins turned on Roman Reigns. So there's still bad blood from that stint there. But you still have that history with those two. Seth Rollins is the only one during Roman's reign as the tribal chief to ever get the upper hand on Roman. And Roman didn't actually beat him. Remember that, back at the Royal Rumble in I'm going to say 2022, maybe 23, somewhere in there. Roman never beat Seth Rollins. So they still got that linked together all the way from those years back. Second direction they can go, with Roman calling the phone of the wise man and getting the voicemail that the phone has been disconnected, they can go another direction. You can hold off on Paul Heyman's return until Survivor Series, where he introduces a certain straight edge superstar that we haven't seen since the Monday Night Raw after Bad Blood. Just saying, maybe CM Punk could be the fifth guy. It made sense, right? This would be CM Punk's first interaction with Roman Reigns as the Tribal Chief. Remember, CM Punk didn't have no interaction with Roman Reigns since what's that, 2013ish? I would say they're probably the last encounter. Maybe was the Royal Rumble in 2014, right? So it's been a long time since CM Punk seen Roman Reigns and even met Roman Reigns. He's never met this Roman Reigns as the Tribal Chief, so that'd be something new. That'd introduce a new type of line to the story there. So there's one or two options: CM Punk or Seth Rollins. And you gotta have CM Punk on the show because it'd be the year to his return last year at Survivor Series. So it'd be something great because it's linking, because he was the first Paul Heyman guy. Roman Reigns is the latest Paul Heyman guy, so that's the interlink there with Paul Heyman. So that's the intriguing part. But I don't know if that would be very wise on a wise man to bolster CM Punk to be a part of this match. And yet, CM Punk just had a Hell in a Cell match. I don't know if he want to come back and have a War Games match in another steel cage as his first match back after resting his injuries from the Hell in a Cell match against Drew McIntyre, Bad Blood. So, I don't know, man. It looks like Seth Rollins is going to be the fifth guy, but they could throw a wrench in there and make CM Punk the fifth guy. You never know. So, we'll see. But Raw was fucking atrocious. It was a tape show, but still, they don't mean you can't criticize it for what it was. Let's see what they come up with next week. We have SmackDown in the next few hours. We'll see what happens there. We had the face-to-face with Cody and Kevin. See what it goes from there. Hopefully a match at Survivor Series. Then they can probably prolong that into a match at Saturday Night's Main Event. I think Kevin Owens should beat Cody Rhodes for the championship, just so Cody can get the championship back at the Rumble, and then go towards WrestleMania. It seems like Randy Orton ain't gonna be involved no time soon. They're gonna be slow for time when it comes to that. And it may be Orton versus Kevin Owens at Mania sometime. Or maybe possibly Royal Rumble, but you might as well say that match for WrestleMania at this point. So we'll see. And then we have another triple threat match with the women. I think it's Chelsea Green, Bianca, and Blair Davenport tonight. I thought it was more than one match happening tonight, but they may say the last two for next week. But as you guys know, I'm taking Chelsea Green in that matchup. So that's what we all got slated for SmackDown. That's what they got promoted. But I'm going to leave it here, man. I don't want to keep y'all too long, but you can skip Monday Night Raw. Nothing eventful on there. You can skip it and just wait for SmackDown tonight. So that's going to do it for this atrocious edition of Monday Night Raw for November 18, 2024. I'll see you guys in the next video for either Full Gear predictions or possibly SmackDown preview show or review. So y'all take it easy, man. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, man.